A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for the 8 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold and Mugalu Muhammad is on sign language. And without further ado, let's take a look at the headlines and then get straight into the bulletin. In our UBC News Tonight, Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa advises youth on peacekeeping. Furthermore, a teacher in Hoima murdered in cold blood. And Ugandans embark on pilgrimage and memorial for late Mwalimu Julius Nyerere in Butiama. And Uganda Prison Service unveils new uniform. Look at them. Once again, thank you for joining us. It's now time for the news in detail. The Vice President and Woman Member of Parliament for Katakwi District, Major Jessica Alupo, has reaffirmed the government's dedication to providing high-quality health care to Ugandans. She highlighted the policy of establishing a Health Centre 4 in every constituency and a Health Centre 3 in each sub-county. Now, during the donation of medical equipment from Stanbic Bank to Katakwi General Hospital, valued at 30 million shillings, Alupo emphasized the importance of a healthy population for economic productivity. She urged the hospital management and the public to maintain the equipment and encourage the community to focus on preventive health measures, including proper nutrition and washing of hands. Alupo praised Stanbic Bank for its contributions to and noting that the equipment will significantly reduce referrals, particularly for premature infants. Dr. Joseph Emuron, the hospital's medical superintendent, thanked the bank and highlighted the urgent need of more staff to support the growing facility's patient numbers. Stanbic Bank's corporate social investment manager, Diana Ondoga, shared the 45 health facilities nationwide have benefited from their support.
And invested back into the community more than 2 billion shillings to ensure that we do not lose any mother while they're giving birth. Our gift, which we call the blue gift that we have brought to Katakwi Hospital, is a part of that investment. At the moment, we lose about 189 mothers out of 100,000 live births. Luckily, when I spoke to Dr. Emuron, he said over the past 3 months or so, they have not lost any mother. So congratulations to you and the team. As an organization, our brand promise is Uganda is our home, we drive her growth. And when we bring it down to Katakwi, we say Katakwi is our home and we drive her growth. Would like to thank you, Your Excellency, for gracing this event as a demonstration of your love for your own people. Let's give her a big round of applause.
I would like to appreciate very sincerely Stanbic Bank for contributing towards healthcare, environment, and education service delivery across the country, and I would like to acknowledge this as a very fine example of being a responsible partner. Thank you for being responsible partners to the government of Uganda. And specifically, thank you for coming to show the people of Katakwi the attachment that you have to members of the public by providing those much needed equipment to the hospital. Due to the vital importance to the lives of mothers and babies, and indeed to the general welfare of community, I wish to applaud Stanbic's unwavering support, specifically to maternal health care in Uganda. Because maternal health care is the foundation of the well-being of all the members of the community. Because if you are born safely, then you are likely to live a very productive life.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has urged the youth in the Bugisu sub-region and across the country to leverage the existing peace and harmony to engage in income-generating activities that combat poverty in their communities. Now, during a guided tour of the Sino-Ugandan Bale Industrial Park, Tayebwa noted that numerous investors have joined forces with the government to create employment opportunities for young people. He commended the Chinese investors for their significant contributions to the region's development, and we have more details in this story.
So I was really happy to find that now we can produce televisions, even 100 inches from here, microwaves, fridges, phones being produced from here, and also the price. Because when you go into these imported brands and all that, you find a TV, which you're getting here, factory price at 1.3 million. You get it at 8 million from the international brands. And yet they also keep changing in terms of technology. So I'm really happy with what is going on here. We have visited bulletproof glasses are made here, manufactured here, aluminium, textile, and the employment numbers and the expansion, because everywhere we've gone, everyone is saying they are going to expand. They are going to expand. But also what is very critical, I have found that most of these investors have come from other African countries. They are abandoning other countries and coming here, which is a very huge vote of confidence in our government and in our country. And we are really proud of that. We had gotten a few issues which we have discussed with the chairman, and most of them have been resolved right away. The youth wanted a position on the board. He has agreed to offer it, but also I requested him to build a workshop, a general workshop for our young people, especially from the ghetto in the city. And he has offered 1 acre and is going to build a fully equipped workshop for which the youth are going to be using for free, so that those who grow bigger, they get out and create a space for others. This is a game changer for the youth in the region. We have agreed, the investor has agreed to put up a big showroom so that every factory here can have an outlet at the entrance, so that people stop complaining. They were complaining that the manufacturing is here, but they go to buy things in Kampala. So now the people of this region, out of this list, are going to benefit huge.
And then the first batch of pilgrims for the late Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere's ancestral home in Butiama village, Mwanza, in Tanzania, to commemorate his life as a Pan-Africanist has set off from Makerere Freedom Square at about midnight of Saturday. They traveled aboard Chira Motors to attend celebrations scheduled for Monday, and the theme espousing the late Mwalimu Julius Nyerere's legacy and enduring values.
The traveling team included people from different walks of life, where a self-proclaimed and down-to-earth person of the late Mwalimu Julius Nyerere's caliber was born. These carrying backpacks and tour items included students and their leaders, teens and others from different parts of the world, sharing their motivations ahead of the long journey.
I'm an African, I'm an East African, and being that this is going to be celebrating the late, that's I'll say my role model, because I enjoy whatever I hear what he did.
He was fundamental in putting together the East Africa community. So I think this is a tremendous event that celebrates the unity of East Africa, and now, as we all know, the East Africa community.
Very much excited to be part of the team going to Tanzania, and more so, I'm more happy that we are going to Tanzania through Kenya. So it is Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, that's East Africa. And really, I'm one of those people who support East African community.
Students who seemed young by age weren't hesitant to share with UBC TV the little they have known about the fallen Mwalimu Nyerere, who always advocated for a united African continent.
He made a good lineage, history that I've been learning, and I'm proud of him, and he's like my role model, and I loved him.
The chief organizer of the event in Butiama, Tanzania, Dr. Tenderonex Chisembo, however, shared the changes in transport routes as earlier communicated.
There is a change of route because of time. We may not go into the detail. Earlier we had communicated that we are going to go through Mutukula, that is Kampala, Masaka, Mutukula, all the way to Tanzania via Mwanza. But with consultation with the security, we agreed that from here to Jinja, Busia, then we cross to Kenya side, and then we enter Tanzania.
The acting director of operations, Uganda Police, Simon Peter Okoshi, flagged off the pilgrims.
Was with the coordinator, Dr. Tendo. And we sat together, made some last-minute arrangements on the routing. Initially, you were supposed to travel through Mutukula, as you mentioned, but when we consulted between Masaka and Mutukula, the potholes are many. You will feel very uncomfortable, yet the eastern route is also available and shorter.
The first batch aboard Crab motor buses set off for their maiden visit and prayer in memory of the late Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere celebrations in Tanzania at around midnight. The last batch of 20 Butiama pilgrimage, including government delegates and officials, among other dignitaries, is expected to leave Sunday night for Tanzania aboard Uganda Airlines Bombardier. I'm Waiva Njuko for UBC.
And the NRM Deputy Secretary General Rose Namayanja has urged leaders to collaborate in creating employment opportunities to address the rapidly growing population in the country. Namayanja is currently leading a delegation from Luweero district on a fact-finding mission at an Exquisite Solutions Limited company, a prominent communications service provider located in Namamve, Kampala, is spearleading this.
Local leaders from Luweero district are visiting Exquisite Solutions Limited in Namamve, Kampala, accompanied by the Deputy Secretary General NRM Rose Namayanja.
We want to extrapolate the same things that are being done in Kampala here to the rural districts, and in this case particularly the sub-region of Greater Luweero.
This leading communication service provider is serving as a benchmark for how a business process outsourcing center could be established in Luweero sub-region.
Right now we have industries there, manufacturing and agro-based industries at a large scale, but there are also some small and medium enterprises. What we want now to include in that, there is agro-industrialization, there is manufacturing, but we want to include ICT through creation of a business process outsourcing center. And this BPO is going to be in Luweero Community Center, in Luweero Sub-County, in Kasana there. That's where it's going to be established. We started on the process of remodeling the place.
Namayanja discussed the vision for the Greater Luweero Triangle Process Outsourcing Center.
They saw what is happening there and they were impressed, and we just want what we saw there to be done in Greater Luweero, and this BPO will be serving the 3 districts of Luweero, Nakaseka and Nakasongola, and this will aim at increasing jobs and opportunities for the young people.
She urged leaders to take an active role in the government's initiatives to create jobs.
Where we visited today at Blue Swan Products is just to see how they can use small-scale machines to produce toilet paper, to produce shampoo, to produce liquid soap, and we are going to carry out a needs assessment in the Greater Luweero area and see how young people, particularly those that can be trained. We are going to be working with URI to ensure they are trained in those skills.
She emphasized that investing time and resources in production and skills development is crucial for Uganda's growth.
The intention of this business process outsourcing center is to create employment using ICT as a driver of growth. We want young people to cut out call center facilities, to do jobs from companies within the sub-region of Luweero. We even have an industrial park there, but they can also do work for companies in Kampala. They can do work for companies in the region and abroad.
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Librarians from universities across Uganda convened for a two-day interactive conference at Nyerere University aimed at fostering connections in a rapidly changing technological landscape. The Coalition of Uganda University Librarians Symposium is particularly timely as the rise of artificial intelligence and automation presents significant challenges to job security around the globe. Now, this conference addressed growing concerns that robots and artificial intelligence may threaten many traditional job roles.
Nyerere University in Kampala recently hosted the third annual Coalition of Uganda University Librarian Research Dissemination Conference under the theme Transforming Libraries and Information Services for Sustainable Development.
Consortium is an association that brings together all university libraries to pool resources so that we are in position to provide these expensive electronic resources to other institutions that wouldn't be able to acquire these resources independently. So that's why we came together with an aim of sharing resources and ensuring that every Ugandan is able to access these resources when they come to institutions of higher learning. We are composed of university libraries, but also other institutions of higher learning.
Participants emphasized the critical need to embrace and integrate the latest technological advancements to ensure sustainability in their practices.
Call upon librarians to find ways of leveraging or of harnessing the artificial intelligence technology in their service delivery. If we shy away from this, we shall be rendered useless in our institutions. So we need to find means. If it means attending a conference, like we have just had one, and we had a session on artificial intelligence in library and information sciences. You can also go for workshops, you can also read, you can also find means of getting the knowledge and information and the competency to be able to leverage or to apply AI in your libraries.
It's really been a great conference. I've got to interact with a lot of clients and colleagues. I met new faces and some familiar faces. And I think we all have been benefiting to being here at this conference.
While human involvement remains vital in libraries and record-keeping institutions, there is an urgent need to rethink strategies to enhance efficiency and accuracy in the workplace. Experts at the conference shared best practices in documentary, heritage, record-keeping, management, and piracy detection.
The jobs have increased more into data management than keeping the physical. But data management, indexing, abstracting, and to ensure that the information, wherever it is, linked data.
Additionally, participants received training on identifying and addressing plagiarism. The conference highlighted the importance of perceiving documentary heritage by implementing best practices in record conservation for future accessibility.
Documentary heritage is that heritage which has been planned, deliberately planned to be kept for future use. You can learn on the diary that recorded the killing of the Uganda matters. If you go to Rwanda and you get that document, I went there, so it is a heritage that this is a correspondence between Papa and the people in Uganda. And this is what was the concern that was recorded. So it is a deliberate recording, a deliberate storage.
Experts from the leading Ugandan universities along with international professionals contributed to the discussion, enriching the experience for participants. Sadam Mubale, Deogracious Habimana, UBC News.
Stop breathing. To be a winner, you must breathe only when necessary. Breathing is for losers. What is that? Did I give you permission to sweat? You can sweat in your free time. Push the arms straight.
Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
To help businesses recover from the impact of COVID-19, government introduced a tax amnesty through a waiver of interest and penalty on outstanding principal tax as at June 30th, 2023. Accordingly, URA has since July 2024 been implementing this waiver. To benefit, simply pay your outstanding principal tax by December 31st, 2024, and the waiver is applied automatically upon payment confirmation. This amnesty applies to domestic taxes, namely income tax, rental tax, payee, and others. Grab this golden opportunity today. For more, use the platforms displayed.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
The Ministry of Health informs the general public that there are some cases of Mpox detected in Uganda. The ministry, working with partners and affected district local governments, are doing their best to contain the situation. The signs and symptoms of Mpox are body rash, fever, general body weakness, headache, sore throat, nasal congestion or cough, and swollen lymph nodes. You can prevent yourself from getting infected with Mpox by avoiding close contact with people who have been confirmed to have Mpox or who have signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding touching or sharing personal items like beddings, eating utensils, phones, or other belongings of a person who has the signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding contact, including eating, with all wild animals, alive or dead, especially those known to carry the virus, such as rodents and monkeys, and those that appear sick or have been found dead. Getting vaccinated if you're among those who have been identified to be at high risk of Mpox infection. Mpox is treatable and usually goes away after 2 to 4 weeks. However, it can be severe, causing even death, especially among children, pregnant women, and those with other health conditions. For more information and support, contact your nearest health worker. Call the Ministry of Health's toll-free line on 0800 100 066 or send a free SMS to YouReport on 8500.
Made in Mbale, the ultimate trade show and expo 2024. Join us for an exciting showcase of Made in Uganda industrial products, proudly presented by Honorable Minister Evelyn Aniche and Chairman Tiang Tang Group Paul Sang. The trade show will be held at Mbali Industrial Park on 18th and 19th October 2024. Come and experience the best of Ugandan industry, all products from Mbali Industrial Park. Entrance is absolutely free. The chief guest, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, with other guest speakers including the Vice President, Her Excellency Jessica Lupo, the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Robin Nabanja, the Minister of Finance, Honorable Matia Kasaija. The Mbali Industrial Trade Show and Expo by Uganda, Build Uganda, powered by the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight. You're watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. Now, did you know that the senior fours sitting this week are going to be the first candidates for the new curriculum, and also this particular cohort is going to be included with the last cohort of the old curriculum? And here with me in studio is the principal PRO of UNEB, Madam Jennifer Kalule, who is a guest, the usual guest within our studios here. Yes, and we are obliged to, we're obliged to, share this information. So that's why we're always honored to have you here. So enlighten us about how UNEB has prepared differently for this unique set of candidates.
Okay, thank you so much. A very good evening to all our dear viewers. Yeah, this is a very special year for us as UNEB and for the country basically. Yeah. We are going to assess the first cohort of the candidates under the new lower secondary school curriculum, what is ideally called the competence-based assessment. It is the very first time ever for even to change the curriculum, and as a board we are excited to be the ones to to lead this generation to what you could call maybe the Canaan or the promised land, because the new curriculum is one of those like promised land. It's one of those everyone has been happy about the curriculum. Lots of new things. It's an exciting curriculum. The learners are excited, so we are looking forward to the outcome of this, and the assessment is already underway. Yesterday we did have the briefing of the candidates. Today we've been briefing the scouts who are going to be who are going to help us in in the field conduct of the examination. So it is a good time for us. Okay. And we are doing this alongside with another set of candidates. For another set of candidates, what we are calling the transitional examination. These are the candidates who are doing the old curriculum for the last time. You're looking at people who may have failed for some and wanted to repeat, or people who would have wanted to improve on their grades. So we have a total of 10,147 candidates who are doing the old curriculum, and we have a total of 369,601 candidates who are doing the new curriculum. Those are the pioneers for the new curriculum.
How about the methodology you're using to assess the new curriculum candidates? From how back when do we see you assessing these students?
Well, they did start, these are for the last 4 years actually, because the curriculum did change in 2020, and then we had the COVID interruption over there. So from 2021, they said they were still in S1, S2, so they've been in school for the last 4 years. And the unique aspect, one of the unique aspects of this new curriculum is that 20% of the assessment is done at school. What we call continuous assessment. And we want to call upon the school heads out there who are responsible. Please remember the deadline for the submission of scores for continuous assessment is 30th October. That is 30th of this month. They know how to do it, and online they submit through the portals, through their own portals. So we want to encourage even the parents to get involved, find out from the school, have they submitted their 20%, the scores for continuous assessment and the project.
I like the fact that this is a combination, or it's a joint effort between the parents and the teachers. Something that was a little lacking in the previous curriculum.
Yes.
How are you ensuring that the parents and teachers are on the same board?
Well, you see, the good thing about this curriculum, there's the component of the project. Inevitably, as a parent, you have to be involved in the project component, because there are things that a learner, you have to support the learner, and when they come back home, you get to see what they are working on. It kind of makes you interested. You want to know what's happening. How far have you gone? So it's an exciting thing for everybody. My daughter is in S2, but I follow her project day 1, day 2, because it's kind of an exciting thing. As it rolls out, you want to see how they are doing it, and you contribute towards the materials, you contribute towards getting the facilitation or whatever they need. So it's an exciting thing even for the parents, and it's very important in the performance of the learners, because as UNEB, we've established that when the parents are involved in the teaching and the learning of the students, then they perform much better. I think there's better accountability. They feel taken care of. They feel loved. They feel like, oh yeah, they don't want to disappoint you. So it's always better for us as parents to get involved in the studying, in the learning of our candidates. And right now, as they're getting towards the examination, it's even better. Get involved. Talk to them. Let them know you are praying for them. Encourage them. Tell them, yes, you are able to, you'll be able to do it. Yes, you can. We are going to perform well. But even if you do not get that, whatever mark you think it's going to be, you're still good enough. That's the good thing about the new curriculum. We are not assessing the content per se. We are assessing the competencies. How is the learner able to apply this knowledge that they have acquired? And every learner is able to get something. Like, you know, UBC Fine is a TV station. Where is it located? Nile Avenue. So it's not just about saying location of UBC, Nile Avenue, but what is the significance of UBC in your life, for instance? Let's say there was a fire and you needed to inform somebody. What would you do? Maybe someone would say, I'd call somebody, then tell UBC, put an announcement. No, the applicability of the knowledge of the content. Okay. In the old curriculum, it was more about the content. You know about the content, give me the answer, next number. Okay. But now everybody has got to analyze the situation. We have analytical thinking, critical thinking, problem solving, and what are the competencies? Are you able to do X, Y, Z? That's why we have the aspect of continuous assessment, which is assessed at school. You are going to assess, teachers have been assessing. When Jennifer came in senior 1, she couldn't talk in public. But by the time she's in senior 2, she's able to address her teachers and her classmates. Okay, so by senior 3, she can address an audience of about 50 people. She can now go on air, continuously assessing the learner. Okay. Yes, please. So maybe as we come to the end of our interview, the schools that were not able to catch up smoothly with the new curriculum, how is UNEB planning to handle them, especially now that we've come to the examinations? Apparently, all schools have been able to. If you look at the, if you look at the reports of anyone, senior 1, senior 2, just pick a report from a village school, from a so-called town school or wherever, you see their reports are so different. They will tell you, I'm able to do this, they have this competence in this. The reports have changed. That shows they have been able to do that. Okay. And as UNEB, we have done training. We have trained 15 teachers per school throughout the country in continuous assessment. And we've been able to do that for all the regions, and they are all now almost like at the same pace, and we can confidently say we are ready, the teachers are ready, and the learners are also ready. So we are asking everybody out there, our religious leaders, to join us over this weekend. On Friday, we had the Muslims join us for prayers. Today, we had the SDA, and now tomorrow, we are asking the other Christians to kindly join us to pray for the candidates, pray for the examination process, pray for everybody who's going to be involved in the conduct of the examination, that all will be well, and we wish our candidates God's blessings. Well, there you have it. For everyone that has not been able to submit your assessment scores, please do so within the next 30 days or less. Or less, by 30th of October. By 30th of October. And yes, we do wish the candidates a very successful examination period.
may you do your best. From UBC, we wish you success. Otherwise, that brings us to the end of our news tonight. We do have Business Roundup coming up next, and then a 10 o'clock bulletin will follow later on. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold, Mugalu Mohammed on sign language, and Miss Jennifer.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Ministry of Health informs the general public that there are some cases of Mpox detected in Uganda. The ministry, working with partners and affected district local government, are doing their best to contain the situation. The signs and symptoms of Mpox are body rash, fever, general body weakness, headache, sore throat, nasal congestion or cough, and swollen lymph nodes. You can prevent yourself from getting infected with Mpox by avoiding close contact with people who have been confirmed to have Mpox or who have signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding touching or sharing personal items like beddings, eating utensils, phones, or other belongings of a person who has the signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding contact, including eating, with all wild animals, alive or dead, especially those known to carry the virus, such as rodents and monkeys, and those that appear sick or have been found dead. Getting vaccinated if you're among those who have been identified to be at high risk of Mpox infection. Mpox is treatable and usually goes away after 2 to 4 weeks. However, it can be severe, causing even death, especially among children, pregnant women, and those with other health conditions. For more information and support, contact your nearest health worker. Call the Ministry of Health's toll-free line on 0800 100 066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500.
Ninye pisi mbabazi cha mkongwire owabeshongoye rukunde gumeho nko kwempara ejiriho owakigambire naiza kuchehaka
pisi mbabazi cha mkongwire yakuletera concert yo mwaka rugogoma rukunde gumeho family day out concert abatuna bakuru mwena tubuganira Serena Hotel Kampala ebiri 10 byo 11 2024 shamwe na zihamu ishuko kutahamu n'emitware 5 emitware 10 hamwe na miliyoni 2 bari kwenda tables ashande cherisi babeshongozi batahibe mukafata musara twina Habart hamwe n'abandi banywani babeyinji munonga bihagirwa aba Pepsi Movit Vision Group UBC
National Water hamwe na Airtel Money
shangayo.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Business Roundup, and as always, we are thrilled to have you with us. I'm your host, Jerome Paul Sonko, and without further ado, let's dive into today's stories. The central bank cuts the central bank rate to 9.7%, citing lower inflation as a key factor. The Pan-African Business Forum explores ways to unlock business potential with the USA. Ugandans working abroad face growing concerns of torture, exploitation, and even death. Is there a solution in sight? And on the regional front, Zambia joins the Central Corridor Agreement, becoming its 7th member. Now sit back, because it's time for business. Improved inflation has prompted the central bank to cut the central bank rate CBR by 25 basis points. Although the reduction is good news to the financial sector and the economy at large, the inflation outlook is prone to risks, says Michael Atingi, the deputy governor. We have this in our first report.
The Bank of Uganda Monetary Policy Committee has reduced the central bank rate by 25 basis points from 10% to 9.75% due to an improved inflation outlook.
Inflation remains subdued, in part reflecting the unwinding of the global shocks, the stable shilling exchange rate, partly due to the steady coffee export receipts, moderate import growth, and prudent monetary policy that balance economic growth recovery while maintaining price stability. Over the 12 months to the month of September 2024, annual headline and core inflation averaged 3.2%.
So the adjustment downwards to 9.75 means that upper band will be 11.75. So the interbank rates already would adjust towards that upper band, say, to the maximum. Although the mid rate is 9.75, but we have to the maximum, it has to go to 11.75.
Over the 12 months to the month of September 2024, annual headline and core inflation average was 3.2%. Notably, inflation declined in September 2024, driven by lower oil prices and reduced fuel prices.
The decline in core inflation was primarily attributed to a reduction in the services inflation, particularly in passenger transport services. The Bank of Uganda projects average core inflation to remain below the medium-term target of 5% over the next 12 months, supported by the relatively stable shilling exchange rate and the favorable food and oil prices.
However, the inflation outlook is prone to risks, says the Deputy Governor, Michael Atingi-Ego.
On the downside, inflation may be lower if the previous policy actions dampen demand more than expected, the economic environment in the rest of the world worsens unexpectedly, favorable harvests that results in lower food crop inflation than currently projected, and a stronger appreciation of the shilling, partly due to stronger capital inflows, coupled with softer global inflation. On the upside, heightened geopolitical tensions could push energy prices and freight costs higher and disrupt the global trade, resulting in higher domestic inflation. Also, the ongoing global developments could result in greater shilling exchange rate depreciation, causing inflation to rise sharply. Extreme weather events could also drive food prices higher than projected, and of course the higher domestic economic growth due to increased investments in extractive industries and effective implementation of the government's programs could result in stronger aggregate demand than currently envisaged, therefore resulting into higher inflation.
The MPC assesses that inflation will remain below the target in the near term and that the risk to inflation is balanced, but acknowledges the inherent uncertainty in the outlook, which warrants a cautious monetary policy stand. Maureen Babidie for UBC News.
Presidential Advisory Committee on Exports and Industrial Development, PASAID, hosted the inaugural Pan-African Congress Business Forum and Expo at Peak Resort, Munyonyo. The conference brought together the business community to interact and forge lasting ties with potential diaspora investors in the United States of America with an aim to increase exports. We have the details.
Under the theme, A Diaspora Homecoming Navigating the Next 100 Years, the inaugural Pan-African Congress Business Forum and Expo is facilitating an assemblage of Ugandan diaspora investors.
Last year, the global diaspora sent over $100 billion to Africa, equal to 6% of African GDP, exceeding official development aid program of $42 billion. And the foreign direct investments, which is equal to $48 billion. A country like Nigeria alone, its diaspora sent around $20 billion in 2023. Those numbers show that Africa needs more, it's African diaspora and the partners' investments than development aid programs.
In a massive global trade of more than 32 trillion US dollars, Africa's share remains only 3%, and even in many areas, productivity of farms and exports has fallen.
We think we can reduce the cost of industrial inputs and intermediate goods from outside if we work with US companies. Industrial inputs and intermediate goods into Africa, Europe controls 26%, China 15%, Saudi Arabia 4%, India 3%, the US 7%, intra-Africa 16%. But you know, industrial inputs is where an economy starts to heat up and really grow. If we work together, we'll bring in patents and technology to improve Africa's intermediate goods.
At this ongoing forum, government has committed to support SMEs through export orders, working capital, and some grants, along with working on a standards and compliance authority for our food safety to match what US's Food and Drug Administration and other international protocols require, all under one roof.
There is no doubt if you choose this route, your returns will be in the region of 20% and beyond, especially if you include the processing of mineral deposits that we have in large quantities, from iron ore to gold, phosphates, lithium, tin, etc.
The government is cognizant that to achieve the above aspiration strategic programs have to be undertaken, including, among others, boosting production for markets and mobilization of the relevant quality investments as envisaged in this forum.
This business forum is a culmination of 2022 initiatives by PASAID, the African Chamber of Commerce, and the Ministry of Trade during the USA-Uganda Trade Summits that took place in Chicago and Washington in the USA. Wadulo Arnold for UBC News in Munyonyo.
Moving on, the insurance sector registered growth trends which the regulator IRA attributes to the expanding middle class. While presenting the Media Performance Index of the sector, the Chief Executive Officer, Insurance Regulatory Authority, Alhaji Ibrahim Kadunabi, said that 22.9% growth in life insurance indicates growing public confidence in the insurance sector.
The Media Performance Insurance Sector Report represents data from January of 2024 to June of 2024. Various categories performed differently as the non-life premiums registered growth of 542.3 billion shillings from the 510.1 billion shillings in a comparable period of 2023, representing a 6.30% growth in premiums. Life insurance businesses registered a 357.8 billion shillings from 291 billion shillings in 2023, which is 22.97%. Health membership organizations generated 33.1 billion shillings, up from 27.3 billion shillings in 2023, representing a 21.24%. And microinsurance generated 613 million shillings in half year of 2024, up from 463 million shillings, which is 32.52%.
We will continue to provide more guidance on making sure that the insurance industry remains resilient, and also it plays a pivotal role to the economic landscape.
The sector growth trend is attributed to a steadily growing economy and expanding middle-income class, which aspires to protect achieved wealth and online transactions.
Because of the role the Insurance Regulatory Authority plays and the assurances we have continued to give to the insuring public, and the awareness and education campaigns we have done, we have seen more customers becoming more safer and confident that insurance will pay them.
Worryingly, the sector also recorded increased cases of fraud, especially health policies and motor vehicles.
There is sending the wrong bills. There is also making sure that people overcharge even when a procedure should be charged differently. We are working with different stakeholders